with Disney's purchase of 20th Century Fox. Now that means they own most of Fox's property, and this affects the entertainment industry. Now today I'll talk about some of the pros and cons because everybody's all excited and hyped up for the future of what could be with this Disney and Fox merger. And then I also want to talk about some of the effects it has on us as consumers, as well as how's Disney going to go about creating new content. Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be easy? I just want to talk about this in this video. So let's discuss some of the pros first off. Now, everybody's been hyped up for the new streaming service that Disney recently announced. It's called Disney Plus, and it's going to air in November 2019. So you get stuff like The Simpsons, you get Deadpool, you get all that good stuff on one platform. And Disney's going to bring in a massive library. And it's going to be even bigger than Netflix has to offer. It's going to be even better than what Netflix has to offer. And they're going to pull all their content off of Netflix. So you can't watch the Marvel movies anymore on Netflix. Now, that's one of the downsides, which I personally am disappointed about because I am a Netflix subscriber and I used to watch all my Marvel films on there. But now since they're pulling out with this new Disney Plus, you can't watch it on Netflix anymore. Now, the upside to this is now you get all this content on one platform, which I'm looking forward to, just having it all there in one spot instead of having to have two providers just to get two different shows. Now, another thing that I'm really excited for as another pro is the merging of different universes, where we see these potential crossovers and comic book moments. These crossovers that you mostly can only see in comic books, these clashes of universe, combining of universes. So we'll get to see stuff like maybe the Fantastic Four, X-Men, Wolverine, Silver Surfer. In the Marvel comic universe, we get to see them fight against each other. X-Men versus Marvel superheroes. Maybe get to see them team up to take on evil villains, go to some other planet and try to save the world again. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. Now, if Disney does this right, it will be awesome. But if they just hold us by a thread and they do not do this potential crossover, then it's going to be a real disappointment. Now, for some of the cons. Now, with Disney owning 20th Century Fox, they can charge more for theaters to screen content. And they have done this in the past with movie theaters because they feel that they have leeway. It's like, I own most of the stuff, so therefore I can charge you more, and you basically don't have a choice in the matter. So they feel like they have more room to talk, money talks. They have more control. Basically, they feel like they can control everything, and theaters are basically being bullied. And they don't really have a choice in this matter. They have to either go with it or just refuse and lose out on some potential revenue. And that's one of the big issues. And then another scary thing is media consolidation, where the big fish eat the little fish, the bigger companies swallow up little companies completely, and they just kind of dissolve in those big companies. It's basically what happens when too much power is under one company, and basically Disney owns most of the movie industry right now. And in the future, there's probably not going to be enough competitions for movie theaters. And as it's happened in the past, FCC is going to have to become involved if this becomes a big deal. And then they're going to be forced to take action. And then new restrictions are going to be set in place to push Disney back. And this is a big issue for these other little companies because if Disney keeps eating them up, then as the consumers, we're left with less choices. We have less choices for films because if Disney controls most of it, they basically can do whatever they want. They can up prices, they can change things, they can force the consumer to adapt to whatever they see fit. And another con that I'm not looking forward to is the downgrade of Fox's mature content. Now I know Disney is PG-13, a little bit of action here and there, but no vulgarity, no explicit content. That's a big no-no for the Disney. So basically, Fox is known for its mature content, so you got some in the X-Men, and you especially got some in Deadpool. Now, this is going to be really disappointing if they go about this and Disneyfy it, if they take all that good content, all that violence, all that R-rated material, and just try to make it PG or PG-13, it's going to be a really disappointment, because some of that violence, especially with Deadpool, that vulgarity, that violence, that's what makes up his core. You take that out, what's left? There's basically nothing left of him. You just got a PG-ified Deadpool for the big screen, and that's no fun at all. You basically took out what made him, what made him unique. You took out the violence, you took out the vulgarity, you took out the curse words, you took out all this good content. And Disney could go about it a second way, which could turn this con into a pro. They could just stream it on Fox's platform, or they could just stream it on a separate site, but kind of try not to tie their name too much into it. But knowing Disney, they'll probably try to keep it under wraps and just stay strictly PG for the kids' sake. As I was saying before, how would this affect us? Well, Disney, as I said before, they are becoming a massive company, so therefore they can control your wallet. They could up their prices for films, theaters, they could even up the prices for their streaming services, as well as their DVDs. Maybe in the future you could be paying like $30, $40 for DVDs because Disney says so, and money talks. You really don't have any choice in the future if they keep obtaining all these sources and all these resources. You really don't have a choice in the matter. If you really want to see that new movie, if you really want to see this new crossover, you gotta pay up. Disney basically feels like they have leeway in the matter, and they can up their prices as much as they please. And this is one of the scary things in the future, especially as Disney continues to grow and obtain more properties. For us as consumers, that means we're going to be forced to pay Disney's prices, and we won't have a choice in the matter. We'll have to pay up, and essentially we'll just have to deal with it. We can't really go against it, because if Disney practically owns anything, what more can you do? And also another effect on us is these streaming services such as Netflix, HBO, and Amazon will be forced to raise their prices. Like I was saying before, I am a subscriber of Netflix, and Netflix right now is sitting pretty at $13, but this new Disney Plus streaming service is offering their services for $6.99 a month. Now, this is supposedly supposed to beat out Netflix's current per month plan. And since they are taking most of the Marvel content and all the Disney content off of Netflix, then that basically means Netflix is without a big source of revenue. They're without those films. They're not allowed to touch it because Disney basically took it all back. And as Netflix loses viewers and they lose people, then that means Disney's numbers are going to go up and Netflix is going to go down. And Netflix will struggle to get money, just as HBO and Amazon will struggle to get money with their streaming services. So what do? They have to raise their prices. And as they raise prices, they might get to a point in the future where they fall under, and maybe, just maybe, Disney will buy them out as well. And that is a scary thing to think about in the future, as Disney just waits until things get all low and goes like, I'll just buy you out. Have more to go around, have more to use, have more sources and more resources to pull from. And as I said before, Disney is pulling all of its content off Netflix. As said with the Disney Plus, it's going to take all its content off of Netflix, so Netflix has no more rights to it and they cannot use it for their content. So, is Disney really going to struggle to create new content? No, because they got all these slew of resources. They got the X-Men, they got the Fantastic Four, they got all these great characters like Wolverine, Silver Surfer, Professor X they can play around with. And they also have a larger budget to throw money around and just test the waters a little bit. So no, it's not going to be harder for Disney to create content because they have all this stuff to play with. Now, for other companies like Paramount Pictures, Columbia, Universal, Warner Brothers, etc., they're going to have to spend more money to be up par with Disney. And the sad thing is, Disney could make a low-quality film and make a little bit less, or just because they have the hype to their name, they could make a decent amount. But if these little companies, like Paramount Pictures and such, if they made terrible movies, they would suffer greatly. They would lose a lot of profit. Unlike Disney, where they can just test the water and goes like, oh, this didn't work, so now we know what to do for next time. Oh, look, we still have a whole bunch of money as backup, and it's keeping us afloat. While other companies are like, oh no, we're losing money. This movie bombed, and then so on and so forth. And as Disney continues to grow, it's a scary thing for these studios. Less and less of them. There is becoming less and less. And everybody is terrified since the merger of 20th Century Fox. Now they're gone. And Disney practically swallowed them up. So what's left for us now? Or what's left for them? They need to struggle to get films out. They need to be on par with Disney. If Disney releases 5, they need to release 5 or more. They need to make them good. Disney's using all these special effects. Well, we need to bring all these special effects in so we can bring more people in. So in terms of creating content, Disney is basically, they have creative freedom to do whatever because now they own that content and they can just play around with it. It's basically new toys for them. As for the other companies, they don't have access to all this content, so it's going to be harder for them, and there's going to be more competition. It's going to be competition with who's better, Disney versus the other studios. It's going to be continuous competition until the other ones are forced to merge together in the future or just fall under, as Disney just continues to grow with how much they have altogether under them and how much they own altogether. So it's just something to think about with the Disney 20th Fox Century merger. I have provided links in my Wakelet for further reading, as long as the contract detailing the exact terms of the merger. Just something to check out, and I hope you enjoyed my video.